Right now, someone you can't stop thinking about is sleeping just fine. That's not an insult, that's a diagnosis. Because the throne was never taken by the strongest man in the room. It was taken by the calmest one. Niccolò Machiavelli spent his life studying rulers who kept power, who lost it, who got exiled, who got executed, and he found one pattern that repeats in every single case. The men who fell weren't weak, they were needy. They needed to be liked, they needed to be understood. They needed one more chance to explain themselves, and the moment a mind needs something, he can be steered by it. So before you watch another second of this comment online, my mind belongs to me. Because tonight, we're not talking about kings and courts. We're talking about the text you keep rereading, the person who went quiet on you, the rejection that's still running on a loop in your head at 2 a.m. Machiavelli has an answer for all of it, and it's colder than you're ready for. He didn't write for poets. He wrote for survivors. Men who had watched empires collapse not from outside armies, but from the ruler's own inability to sit still with discomfort. He watched princes lose everything because they couldn't stand one uncomfortable silence, one unanswered question, one night of not knowing. And if you're honest with yourself, that's the version of you that's been losing too. Not to a rival, not to bad luck, to your own need for resolution. So stay to the end. Because by the time this is over, you're going to look at every person who ever had power over you and realize you're the one who handed it to them. Let's begin. Law 1. Pressure doesn't create character, it reveals it. Machiavelli didn't trust a man's words. He trusted a man's behavior under stress. Because pressure is a mask remover. The moment things go wrong, most people show you exactly who they are, and it's rarely who they claim to be. Somebody leaves you on read. Suddenly you're a detective, replaying the conversation, hunting for the sentence you shouldn't have sent, building a whole trial in your head with no evidence and no judge. Hours gone, focus gone, peace gone, over something you can't even control. Machiavelli would call that a wasted campaign. You bled resources fighting a battle that was never yours to fight. Here's the part that stings. The event was never the enemy. Your reaction was. Every time you feel disrespected and your first instinct is to fire back, prove them wrong. Win the exchange. That's not strength, that's a leash, and someone else is holding it. Machiavelli watched emotion turn brilliant men into open books. Fear writes mistakes. Anger writes exposure. Desperation writes weakness in ink nobody can erase. That's why the disciplined ones never answer immediately. They watch first. They measure second. They move last. Ignored, composed, betrayed, composed, underestimated, composed, not because it doesn't hurt, because they refuse to hand their inner state to somebody who hasn't earned the deed to it. Say it with me. Calm is my leverage. Because you cannot command anything outside you until you've stopped being commanded from the inside. Machiavelli studied this in courts full of poison and betrayal, but the mechanism hasn't changed in 500 years. Somebody insults you. Does your jaw tighten before your brain even finishes processing the words? That's not instinct, that's training. You were trained by every fast reply and every quick apology to hand your composure over on demand. A disciplined man breaks that training on purpose. He lets the insult land, sit, and pass without asking his face for permission to react. Not because he's numb, because he's decided his expression is not public property. That single habit, the pause before the response, is the entire foundation everything else in this video is built on. Law 2. Need is a price tag and everyone's buying. Here's the sentence Machiavelli built an entire philosophy on. Whoever needs less, rules more. Not desire builds things. Need. The kind that makes you check your phone 40 times over one unanswered message. The kind that makes silence feel like an emergency. A man who can walk has options. A man who must stay has none. And a man tethered to a specific outcome has already surrendered the negotiation before it started. Ask yourself, how many times have you chased closure from somebody who was never going to give it? How many nights did you spend interrogating a conversation for a meaning that was never there? Most people call that love. Machiavelli called it a liability. Because the second your mood depends on someone else's message, your emotions stop belonging to you. They belong to whoever has the power to send or withhold. That's why the ruthless ones get selective. Selective with attention. Selective with trust. Selective with who gets access to their headspace. Not coldness. Arithmetic. Your energy is currency, and Machiavelli never advised handing currency to people who'd spend it against you. Look at whoever's frustrated you most this year. Were they actually powerful? Or did you simply hand them the keys? My peace isn't for sale. A ruler who wants nothing from the crowd is the one crowd can never buy. Notice something about the people who seem untouchable in your own life, the ones who never seem rattled, never seem to be performing for approval. They aren't lucky. They made a decision, probably a painful one, to stop outsourcing their sense of worth. And the second they made that decision, other people's opinions of them lost their leverage. That's the exchange Machiavelli is asking you to make. Trade the temporary comfort of being liked for the permanent advantage of being unshakable. Almost nobody makes that trade. That's exactly why almost nobody holds real power. Law 3. Leaving as a weapon, learn to hold it. Most people never master the exit. Not because it's hard, because their attachments are heavier than their discipline. The weak stay where they're disrespected. They keep explaining themselves to people who've already decided not to listen. They stay loyal to a version of a relationship that stopped existing months ago. Then they wonder why it feels like a cage. Machiavelli's warning was simple and brutal. Every man has a price. For some it's money. For others, status. For most, it's attachment. And the moment someone finds what you can't walk away from, they've found your weak flank. That's why he counseled rulers to always keep an exit open. Options aren't disloyalty, they're insurance. Leverage doesn't come from begging people to stay. It comes from being fine either way. Ask yourself, how much of this year did you spend trying to resurrect something that had already ended? Most suffering doesn't start with loss. It starts with refusing to accept it. I can walk. 3 words. Say them until they stop sounding like a threat and start sounding like a fact. Quick pause before we go further, because what's coming next is where most people watching this actually change. If you're serious about building this kind of discipline, not just watching it, building it, hit subscribe now. Because Machiavelli's mindset breaks down one of these laws every single week. And the men who apply them are the ones who stop getting caught off guard by people who were never as powerful as they seemed. This channel exists for exactly one purpose: to turn you into the calmest, hardest to read person in every room you walk into. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's keep going. Law 4. The moment you stop reacting, the game flips. There's a test running underneath most conversations, and almost nobody notices it. Someone goes cold to check if you'll chase. Someone delays respect to measure how much disrespect you'll swallow. And most people feel these tests daily without ever knowing the exam was happening. Machiavelli's read on this was cutting. The easiest person to control is the one who always reacts. Predictable men create predictable openings, and predictable openings get exploited. Picture someone trying to provoke you, expecting the outburst, expecting the chase, and getting nothing back but a level stare. That silence isn't weakness, It's the most expensive thing you own, and you just refuse to give it away for free. The instant people realize your emotions aren't for rent, they start questioning their own position. That's not domination. That's self-command, and it terrifies people far more than aggression ever could. I cannot be controlled. Say it. Mean it. Live like it's already true. Law 5. Dependence is a confession. A dependent man is a legible man. And legible men get outmaneuvered. Most people spend their lives auditioning for approval, for attention, for someone to finally notice their worth. And the world can smell that hunger from a mile away. So they give more, explain more, wait longer. And somehow, the harder they try, the smaller they feel. Machiavelli's insight cuts against every instinct you have. Power was never granted by being chosen. It's built by knowing you'll survive rejection either way. The individual who needs nothing from you becomes impossible to pressure, impossible to read, impossible to move. Ask yourself, how many times did you overstay a welcome that had already expired? How many times did you chase clarity from someone who specialized in confusion? Here's the line Machiavelli would want carved somewhere. You can see it daily. Anything you cannot live without can be turned against you. Detachment isn't the death of feeling. It's the end of renting your worth out to people who never paid for it. My value needs no approval. The day you stop needing it validated is the day you become dangerous. Think about the last time you got what you thought you wanted: the reply, the apology, the acknowledgement, and it still didn't fix anything. That's the tell. The hunger was never really about that one message. It was about a hole you were trying to fill from the outside. Machiavelli would tell you that hole doesn't close from external supply. It closes when you stop digging it deeper every time someone goes quiet. Law 6. The unreadable certainty makes people comfortable. Mystery makes them lean in. Machiavelli built strategy on a simple axiom. An open book gets read by everyone, including your rivals. The second people know exactly what hurts you, they know exactly where to push. The second they know what you want most, they know exactly how to bait you. Most people overshare their plans, their fears, their next move, then wonder why they got outplayed. A disciplined man listens more than he explains. He lets silence do the negotiating. Because every conversation leaks information and most people are too busy talking to notice they're leaking it. My mind stays hidden. The less predictable you become, the harder you are to manipulate. Law 7. Let them underestimate you. Machiavelli's sharpest weapon wasn't force. It was patience disguised as invisibility. A visible threat gets crushed early. A hidden one gets to grow. So when someone doubts you, dismisses your ambition, don't rush to correct them. Their low expectations are cover. Use it. Let results speak. Execution is the only argument nobody can talk their way out of. I let results speak. The underestimated man of today is the one nobody can ignore tomorrow. Here's the part almost nobody has the patience for. Being underestimated feels bad. It scratches at the ego every single day. Machiavelli knew this, and he asked his readers to endure it anyway because the alternative is worse. The alternative is announcing your ambitions before you have the strength to defend them, which only invites people to organize against you before you've even started. So let them assume you're less than you are. Let the doubt buy you room to build in silence. The reveal, when it finally comes, will do more work than any argument ever could. Law 8. When loss stops scaring you, you start ruling. Fear of loss is the quietest form of control there is. A man afraid of losing becomes cautious. A cautious man becomes predictable. And predictable men are easy to steer. Machiavelli understood that everything is temporary: people, status, opportunity, Fighting that truth breeds suffering. Accepting it breeds strength. Look at how many decisions in your life were actually made by fear wearing a disguise. The relationship you stayed in too long, was that loyalty? Or was it terror of starting over? The job you tolerated past its expiration date, was that responsibility? Or was it fear of the unknown pretending to be practical? A ruler who has already made peace with loss cannot be threatened with it. That single shift removes an entire category of leverage that other people have been quietly holding over you for years, without you even noticing. I fear no loss. The moment loss stops running your decisions is the moment you start running your life. The final law: rule yourself first. Controlling others is impressive. Controlling yourself is rare, and it's the only kind of power nobody can confiscate. Machiavelli's deepest teaching wasn't about armies or thrones. It was this: a man who cannot govern his own mind will eventually be governed by someone else's. Every uncontrolled reaction has a price. Every unnecessary battle drains a reserve you'll need later. The strongest people you know aren't rushed, aren't desperate, aren't shaken, not because life is easier for them, but because they fought the internal war first. I rule myself first. That's the throne nobody can take from you. The rejection still happens. The betrayal still happens. The silence still happens. But something in you no longer flinches. Machiavelli's whole philosophy comes down to one image: a storm doesn't move a mountain. If you made it this far, you're already built differently than most people watching this. So, drop the comment, "I am the calm within the storm." And if this shifted how you see power, people, or yourself, subscribe. Because while everyone else keeps reacting to the world, you're learning how to run it. This channel is built for exactly the man who just finished watching this video. Not the man chasing motivation for one afternoon, but the one building a mindset he can rely on for years. Every week we take another one of Machiavelli's principles and translate it into something you can actually use in your relationships, your career, your daily discipline. So if any part of this hit home, don't just scroll past it. Subscribe, hit the bell, and come back next week. Because the next law might be the one that changes everything for you. A king stays calm while everyone else panics. That's the whole game.